The principle that chiropractic is essentially founded upon is that a universal intelligence is in all matter and continually gives to it its properties and actions, thus maintaining it in existence. And what chiropractors really like to talk about is innate intelligence, which is present in living beings that we can interact with. That's our pets, that's everything we find in the zoo, it's all animals, all people. And the significant thing about innate intelligence is that it allows us to act as opposed to being acted upon. If you think of a rock, the intelligence that a rock has, it's not able to adapt to its surroundings very much. It's mainly acted upon. But humans have the unique ability to be able to adapt adapt the environment around them to benefit them. One of my favorite examples is I'm from Utah, and over in Utah, it's not uncommon as you're driving down the streets after a new snowfall in the middle of winter to see a whole family out in the yard, and especially the boys will be out in flip-flops and basketball shorts shoveling the walk. Whereas here in Texas, you'd find people more bundled up. They'd have their full winter coat on when it's 20 degrees warmer than those same people in Utah. What's the difference? Their bodies knew how to adapt to their climate. In Texas, it tends to be warmer, so your body's adapting to be at a generally warmer state, so it's always trying to cool itself off. Whereas in Utah, it's generally colder in the winters. So the people or Utahns have a body that's designed to produce more heat. And if a Texan and a Utahn switched places, they'd have a bit of a shock, or their bodies would have a shock in the different climates, but their bodies would adapt. Now, how does your body know how to do that? And that's where innate intelligence comes into play. It's how your body knows what it needs to do to adapt to a different situation. Then where a chiropractor comes in is when a subluxation is inhibiting your innate intelligence. It's when now your intelligence is always functioning at a full capacity. The difference is a loss in communication between your innate mind and your body, what's actually being expressed. Now, what's the simplest way to define a subluxation? To use an analogy, imagine you're about to go up on stage to give a speech in front of 1,000 people, and everyone on the front row is your friends and family. And right before you go up, the person's calling you on the stage, you have to go right now. But your friend yells out, "Hey, you got some spinach in your teeth." But you reach up with your tongue and you can't feel it. You can't figure out where it is. Think of what it's going to feel like when you give that speech. You're sitting there, do I have this big green thing in my mouth that I can't find? And it's going to stop you from being able to focus completely on what you're doing. It's going to decrease the results, your output. A subluxation decreases the output of your innate intelligence. So you're getting a decreased expression of that innate intelligence that's inside of you. And you're not able to adapt to new circumstances as well. So a chiropractor will go in and remove the subluxation, and then your innate will be able to express itself fully, and you'll be able to adapt to new situations better. I like to think of your nervous system as a guitar. This is more anatomical, but there's a thin covering over all of your nerves that goes out from the meningeal covering of your brain goes down into your spinal cord, and then it continues out of your spinal cord as the epineurium. And it's just this thin layer. It's kind of like a plastic wrap you'd put around food, for example. And it's wrapping around every nerve, and it connects all the way up to the brain. And when you get these changes in orientation of where the nerves are and how much tension there is through it, it'll cause those subluxations and inhibit things from firing as well. So if you think of your nervous system, like I said, as a guitar, what the chiropractor does is he goes in and he tunes the guitar. He's changing the tension in the nerves that allows them to work better, to fire better, and to let you live your life more fully. Because you think of a difference between a guitar that's slightly out of tune as opposed to a guitar that's perfectly in tune. It's only a matter of a few degrees by twisting one of the pegs of a guitar, but it makes all the difference in how much you're enjoying what's going on. And that's why people who go to chiropractors, they say if you go once, you're always going to keep going. It's not because you all of a sudden have problems. It's because you set a higher standard for living. It's because you realize what you've been missing. You realize what it means to be fully expressing yourself in your life and to be able to adapt at a higher level. And you don't want to leave that. You don't want to miss that anymore. And that's why people tend to keep coming back to chiropractors, because they find these slight changes in how things are being expressed in their life, and they want those slight changes to be lined up so they can live the best life that they can.